They say motherhood is a journey, but let's be honest, sometimes it feels more like a roller coaster with no seatbelt. I bet you're like me, wondering why babies, or teens in my case, don't come with instruction manuals. Welcome to This Incredible Mom Life, the podcast that celebrates the beautiful chaos, quiet wins, messy moments, and everyday miracles of being a mom. I'm your host, Dummy, wellness coach, mom of 3 boys, and a passionate believer that you don't have to live at the mercy of PMS, burnout, or exhaustion. Join me every week as we hear the craziest and most unbelievable mom stories. I'll be sharing the huge accomplishments and triumphs of both our moms and their kids. We'll giggle, cheer on the kids, and discuss obstacles and lessons learned along the way. If you are struggling to be the best mom you can be, how open-minded are you to booking a free call with me? You don't have to live at the mercy of your cycle, and you definitely don't have to do it alone. Give yourself permission to let me be part of your support system. I believe that you weren't meant to just survive motherhood. You were meant to thrive in it.
If you've ever wondered how supermoms actually do it, you're about to find out. Welcome back to This Incredible Mom Life. Today's supermom guest is Lindsay Jacobi. She is the founder of the Acton Academy Morristown, creator of the Glow Up Collective, and the go-to guide for successful spiritual female entrepreneurs who are done running on empty. Lindsay helps women who have built impressive businesses, but somewhere along the way started disappearing inside them, reclaim their time, their energy, and their sense of self. Her work centers on replacing people-pleasing and overfunctioning with firm boundaries and a life-first business structure, so her clients can have steady, calm energy, make more money with less hustle, and finally live a life that includes them. As a mom of 3 who has done this work herself, Lindsay doesn't just teach transformation, she lives it. Thank you, Lindsay, for taking time out of your busy day and joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. But first, we're going to talk about who you are a mom to.
So I have three little ones. Well, they're not so little anymore. I have a 13-year-old son, a almost 11-year-old daughter, and an almost 8-year-old son.
Nice. So you have, is that still what, middle school and elementary school?
Yep, middle school and then 2 elementary school. Yep.
Awesome. Mine are just a little bit older than you. I have a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 12-year-old. So we are 2 in high school and the last one's in middle school.
Oh, wow.
I just took my oldest out for his very first driving lesson last weekend. It was great.
Oh my gosh, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, but tell us a story of your kids.
Sure. So I was thinking about what story to share here today, and I thought, one of the most impactful moments of my life was when I had already started down the path to starting my private school here in New Jersey. I was already in, I had started the training, and I was going to go workshop it with my coach at the time, the final details of opening the school. And I found out that I was pregnant with my son, George. And the reason why I chose this story was because that was the very first moment of my mom life that I made a very conscious decision to still choose myself, even though I was about to be a mom times 3. The school was set to open in end of August, early September, and he was due at the end of May. So it was sort of this, I could choose to postpone this further until my new baby's going to be a little bit older, all those things like I had done already twice before. There was other dreams that I had that I wanted to start, and I kept saying, well, when Grant's older, when Willow's older, when they're in pre-K, when I have more time. And this was the very first time that I said, if I don't do this now, I know I'm not going to do it. And it was on my heart so much to do this and to make this a reality that I just decided I was going to do it anyway. And I did it. And I had a 3-month-old, and it was chaotic and crazy. But here I am almost 8 years later with a thriving school and a second company, and just doing all the things that I don't think I would have done if I put myself on the back burner again because of my life as a mom.
Yeah, and it's such a common feeling. I'm sure there are lots of moms who have put something on the back burner because they were having kids, or in my case, my third was a surprise pregnancy. It sounds like yours might have
Mine
been.
was too.
Yeah. So I didn't even know he was coming, but I think it's such a common feeling for moms to put themselves on the back burner, and it stays that way, like you said, for so many years, right? Um, so what was the driving force where you were just like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it with 3 kids, with a newborn?
Yeah, I think that I felt like I was losing myself in my own life. I felt like my identity became mom and wife. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I absolutely always have loved children and love being a mom. And I have a fabulous husband. So it wasn't that I was lacking anything. It just started to kind of feel like I was disappearing into my life as a mom and a wife. And I was always a very creative person. I've always been someone who had big dreams and kind of believed that I had some big thing I was going to do in my life. And it started to kind of feel like, when am I going to do that? And if I keep postponing it and I keep choosing to put my life as a mom first and my life as a person, as a woman second, I will always be second if I don't choose myself first now. And it just was that time that I was the first time I just said, nope, not this time. I'm losing myself. I'm disappearing into my mom life. I am going to do this, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make it work. And honestly, it really helped that I had an amazing coach at the time who was very supportive. So I think that if I didn't have that, I might have said, oh, there's just no way I can do this. But having a coach to tell me, you can absolutely do this. You can do this. If this is on your heart, you can do this.
Yeah. So what kind of support systems did you put into place so that you could manage both the newborn and the school and the other 2 kids and everything else?
Yeah. I mean, I think having my coach was one, because I was really able to put out sort of what will my life look like? What are the things that have to get done? When will I do it? How am I going to delegate my time so that because I knew I was going to be having a baby. So, most women take a few weeks, months off. And I knew that was not really going to be an option for me if I was going to do this. So I had the support for sure of her to help me go through sort of my launch of what the launch was going to look like and what had to get done when. And then I also, honestly, she encouraged me to get help in my home, because it was very clear to me that I was spending a lot of time in my home doing the everyday kind of stuff, like the laundry, the dishes, the picking up the toys, and that I was going to need someone anyway, because I was going to have a 3-month-old and I was going to have to be at the school full time. So I chose to bring this person in to help me in my home a few months before he was born, to get us like kind of going. And that was huge, because she allowed me to have so much more space and time for myself to do all the administrative things that were going to need to be done with the school, and feel like, my son was in great hands as a newborn.
Nice. Love that. Get the help and support that you need, right?
Yeah. And I think that's something that I share with a lot of my clients who are starting new businesses. The support is there. A solution always exists for you to make your dream reality. And I've found that, even if I've heard women say, oh, well, I don't have the money for this, or I don't have the money for that. And sometimes you don't prioritize it. So you're choosing to spend maybe the money elsewhere. And sometimes it's combing through your expenses and saying, well, how important is this to me? Is it more important than something else that's in my life right now that I could cut out to make this actually happen. And that, I'm not saying that that can't be brought back in, but a lot of times I think we take ourselves out of the game because we just assume it's not possible. And what I've seen over and over and over again is it is always possible. A solution always exists for your highest purpose.
Yes, I love that. So follow your purpose and the rest will kind of fall into place, right?
And it does. And sometimes sometimes I see women who, when they go and they have that faith, that step of like, I'm just going to do it. I don't know how. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I believe that there will be a solution and something will give in my life that's going to make this. And they just really have that faith and they take that leap. And then the thing appears, the net appears, the cousin who moved from Florida to here to is going to help for like half the cost of a normal nanny. Whatever it is, the thing appears and it's like you could never have dreamt it up yourself because once you had faith in your higher power has such incredible plans for you that you could never even comprehend as a human being. So when you have faith in your higher power, the universe conspires on your behalf and creates this amazing solution that you couldn't maybe have even conceptualized at the time.
So you were saying that you have created 2 businesses. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and your businesses.
Yeah. So I started the school 8 years ago, and about 3 years ago, I started another company that I work with spiritual female entrepreneurs, either new to business or already established in business, and I help them to create better boundaries in their business. So a lot of the women that I work with are struggling with this second loss of identity, which is losing yourself to your business, where you become the everything in your business and you're people pleasing, you're over functioning, you're working 1,000,000 hours a week. Really, the women that I help, they went into entrepreneurship for more freedom and they find themselves kind of strapped to their business, and I help them to create a life that is full of softness and joy and income in their businesses, so they have it all. And that work has been this kind of next chapter of my life, and I've just been loving doing it.
That's amazing. And I know so many moms feel like they have lost the happy and glowing part of themselves, right? And they're doing everything else. So what do you say to that mom who feels like she's just lost her glow?
That was me. I mean, I was there even in my business when I first started the school. I had gained a bunch of weight. I was like the heaviest I'd ever been in my life. I just was in survival mode because I had the baby. I was opening the school, and it went on for years. It was like 5 years that I prioritized the business, which was amazing. It got it going, but then I started again to lose myself. Now this time, instead of in my mom life and my wife life, in my business. And something that I think is a really huge first step for women to take that feel like they're kind of losing their glow, losing their sense of self, is to make a commitment to yourself that you are going to keep no matter what. So for me, I ended up getting support around my weight loss and movement in my day. And again, I knew that I needed somebody to help hold me accountable so that I could prove to myself that I was capable. And once I was able to consistently show up for myself in that way, everything changed, because then I realized, oh, all I have to do is prove to myself that I'm actually here for me. And I lost the weight. I became so much healthier just in mind, body, and spirit. And I'm much more able, and the women that I see that do these steps of showing up for yourself, you start to see all the areas where you're self-abandoning, and it becomes a lot easier to show up for yourself and to prove that you are willing to put yourself as a top priority on your to-do list.
Yeah. And I see some recurring themes there, right? You did put yourself first, and you got the support that you needed, whenever you needed it. So
yeah,
those 2 things are so important. And so many women don't even think about that.
and sometimes we don't think, it's not even that. I think a lot of women don't believe that it's available to them, or we've been programmed around guilt, or I have to do it all, or my worthiness. So actually, one of the tools that I use is the overfunctioning audit, because we have a persona. It's either we believe that we have to do it all, we tie our worth to what we do and what we accomplish and what we're able to do, like the martyr of, if I just do everything all the time, I'm the most amazing person. And then you wonder why you're completely depleted and you're feeling crappy in your body, and you're tired, and you're no joy, no glow, because you're doing everything for everyone all the time, because you tie that to your worth. And a lot of it's just programming for us as women, of that we are kind of expected to do it all, or we think we're expected to do it all, so we do, and we don't even realize that does not have to be the way.
Yep. And I say that too. I used to be in that survival mode. I call it zombie mode, because you're just kind of going through the motions. I wasn't really feeling happy or alive or anything. And now, I take it from surviving to thriving in life and doing great things. So for the mom who is feeling like this, who is in the survival mode, what tips do you have for her to get started on getting her glow and joy back?
I think the first thing is figuring out where you're most depleted. So I always ask, the first question is, what are you tolerating in your life that is taking away from who you are and your glow and your joy? So a lot of times I'll hear it's like something like, well, I'm tolerating my husband doesn't do anything in the home. He doesn't help with this. He doesn't help with that. Maybe it's you're tolerating a toxic employee. Maybe you're tolerating not eating healthy. You're tolerating having like fast food or crappy meals because you don't make the time to prep. So it's finding the thing in your life that you're tolerating that's draining you, and then making a conscious choice, like what is the action that you're going to take to plug up that leak and to change. And sometimes that's boundaries, sometimes that's support, sometimes that's figuring out a solution. If it's food, it's like, okay, well, maybe it's I'm going to do meal prep, or I'm going to have a meal service, or I'm going to do, there's, again, once you find the thing you're tolerating, I love to walk women through, because they're like, well, I don't have time for this. And then all of a sudden we look, and it's only going to cost you $100 a week, where you're actually spending more on these crappy meals. When you actually go through the steps of investigating the uninvestigated belief about the solution. So sometimes it's just that we haven't gone down the path of really laying out what the solution could be, what solutions, because sometimes there's many. And once we're able to really go through that, a lot of women are shocked at how simple and easy it is to plug up that first leak. And then you're like, wow, that was awesome. And then you're on to the next and the next and the next.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I was surviving, right? I was working. I had the kids at home. I was a PTA mom. I was running the house, right? Doing all the things. And my only goal when I decided to take care of myself was I just want to get rid of my monthly symptoms. That was it, right? I didn't have big plans. I didn't have this big project or anything. I was like, I just want to feel better. And once I did that and my symptoms went away, and then I was like, wow, now what can I do? So just like you're saying, right? Like I fixed one thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And it's just been so great since then.
Yes.
And I love what you're doing. I love that you're, because I feel like so many moms, again, feel like this. We're stuck in that survival mode. We have these big dreams that we don't always pursue. So I love that you're helping them go out and just do it.
Yeah. And I mean, and sometimes it doesn't even have to be this big, it is most of the women I work with are entrepreneurial. So they're doing a business or growing a business. But sometimes it's moms who it doesn't have to be this big, gigantic thing. It could literally be what you said. It could literally be like, I just want to feel better. I just want to look better. I want to be able to take a photo with my family and not want to burn it to the ground. or be embarrassed when somebody posts it on Facebook. Like sometimes it's something so simple in your life that you you want to shift, and having the support and sometimes we don't know what we don't know. So, which is why I, whether you're working with me or another coach, I just love to tell women, get somebody who's in your corner, who's going to be your biggest cheerleader. And like, I will never stop speaking highly of having coaching and having support in your life like that, whether it's life coach, health coach, whatever the work is that you want to feel better around, get the person. It's the best investment you will ever make in your entire life to get yourself prioritized.
Yep. Yeah, I love that, because I too have noticed exponential growth when I was working with coaches. So I really like that. Now, you mentioned your overfunction audit.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So the overfunction audit is basically 3 steps. So you first identify which of the 5 overfunction types kind of where you fall and what's draining you most. And then the next step is to see where are those leaks and why is it happening and why it keeps happening. Because a lot of times it's a pattern. It's some sort of a pattern in our life that causes this leak. And then the third step is you're going to leave with one concrete shift that you can make literally in 24 hours that is going to plug up that leak right away. So they can, it's a downloadable PDF, so any listeners can grab that, and it's a quick, easy exercise to do, and you can do it over and over again and just keep plugging those leaks.
Nice. It's like that magic tape that you see on the
yeah, like yes. I love that.
Yeah. So I will put the link to that in the show notes so people can find that and get that. And how can people connect with you?
The best way is on my Instagram. So I'm at Lindsay Jacobi. That's where I post tons of little snippets. I do videos. I will post tools and questions, and that's how a lot of women will find me to work with me. They DM me there. I also have a website, the Glow Up Collective. And yeah, those are the 2 best ways.
Nice. And talk a little bit about your podcast.
Oh, and I also have, so you can listen to my podcast at the Glow Up Experience. It's sometimes it's interviews like this. Sometimes it is just me talking about transformation or something that's going on in my own life, that a shift that I'm making or a shift that I've made. And it's for inspiration. Sometimes it's for support. And I found that it's just a great little snippet if you are walking or in your car. Their episodes are usually pretty short, so you can consume them in a brief time.
Nice. Well, this was awesome. I loved it. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Yeah. And in closing, motherhood isn't meant to shrink you. It's meant to strengthen you. So take what resonated today, apply one small shift, and keep building the kind of life you want your kids to witness. I'll see you back here next week.
Are you struggling to be the best mom you can be? Are you fatigued, overwhelmed, and stressed out? Are you losing precious time with your family because of PMS? If so, sign up for my free gift on how to start living in tune with your monthly cycle. The link to get it is in the show notes below. Use this guide to help you start to eliminate your symptoms of PMS, increase your energy, reduce stress, and fully enjoy this incredible mom life. The way I see it, you have 3 choices. You can try to figure it all out on your own. You can do nothing and stay where you are, or you can get the customized guidance you need to thrive as a mom. The choice is yours. Thanks for listening to today's episode. I hope you learned something from these stories. If you enjoyed this show, please make sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share this podcast. It really helps this show grow. If you have a mom story you would like to share, click on the link in the description below on becoming a podcast guest. Remember, the content on this podcast is for general information only. It does not replace any medical advice given by your healthcare providers. Please check with your doctor if you have any questions about your specific condition and before starting any new diet or exercise regimen. Thank you, and you will hear from me soon.